This video is a quick video for someone that needs to understand what is going on when knitting knit one, purl one stitch. When you start, actually I should be doing it the English way. I think the lady knits with the English or American style knitting. So when you cast on your stitches, then you will do a knit stitch. Knit stitch is when you take your right needle and put it from the left to the right and in the back of the left needle, okay, and then you wrap the yarn around and pull the yarn forward. Then you need to go and bring, when you go and do a purl stitch, you need to bring the yarn forward between the needles, okay, and instead of going this way like in a knitting way, you actually go from the back forward, and therefore the right needle ends up in front of the left needle, okay, and again you do the wrap, and instead of pulling this wrapped yarn forward, you push it back. Okay, so now I did knit and purl stitch. We're ready to do a purl knit stitch. We need to place the yarn in the back. So for knit stitches, the yarn has to be in the back all the time, okay? And we go and put our needle from the left to the right and in the back. So again, my right needle is in the back of the left needle. I wrap the yarn and I pull it forward. Wait, this way, and pull it forward, okay? So I did my knit stitch. Now for the purl stitch, I have to bring the yarn forward, and I go from the back with the needle from the back to the front, okay, and again I wrap my yarn around and I push it back. And I did my second set of knit and purl. Now when I want to do knit, I take the yarn, I bring it back, and I go from left to the right and to the back, okay, just like this. And again I wrap the yarn around and I pull it forward. That's my knit stitch. Now I'm ready to do purl stitch, so I bring the yarn forward in between the needles, okay, and I take the needle again from the back, from left to right, from right to left, and from back to forward, and it has to end up in front of my left needle, and I go and wrap it around and push it back, okay, and again don't forget to be moving the yarn, this yarn, always between each stitch. You know, when you need to go and do the knit stitch, it has to be in the back. When you are ready to do the purl stitch, it has to be in the front. And so now I'm ready to do the knit stitch. So I go from left to the right and to the back of my left needle. I wrap the yarn, pull it forward, okay, move it forward, put my needle from the back to the front in front of my left needle, and again wrap my yarn and push it back. And yarn has to go in the back. So the yarn goes back and forth for the knit stitch in the back, for the purl stitch in the front. And for continental style, you have your yarn wrapped on your left, over your left index, and you don't have to do as much if you're knitting continental style with moving the yarn so back and forth so much, which saves you time. So you go and you place the needle again the same way, like if you do it English style. You grab the yarn with the needle and pull it forward. And now you see you bring the yarn forward with one smooth movement, and then you go and push that needle the same way like when you were doing the English, and then you just wrap the yarn around the needle and you push it back. It's exactly the same, except that you hold the yarn differently. Okay, and wrap and push back. And now I'm ready to do a knit stitch. Yarn is in the back, and I pull it forward, and now I placed it in front, which means in between the stitches in the front. Okay, but it's in front of my left needle, and then I am ready to wrap it around and push it back. Okay, and this is how I knit and purl stitches.